Welcome back to my channel. I have another prophetic word for you guys today. And yeah, how you doing, guys? The word of today is Mordoff. And of course, this is Hebrew Concordance. Numbers 4783 could be significant or not. These are not angel numbers, by the way. FYI. So Mordoff depicts relentless pursuit or persecution. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 6, it communicates the idea of an oppressor who will not cease their hounding of their victims, which emphasizes an unbroken chain of tyranny. So if we read the actual verse, it says, "He who struck the peoples in wrath with unceasing blows, who subdued the nations in rage with relentless persecution." Now, Mordoff is also used to portray the Babylonian king as the embodiment of cruel, continual harassment against nations. Now, usually I don't like to go into the historical background too much, but I feel called and led to. In Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14, pronounces judgment on Babylon, which is a superpower responsible for Judah's exile. Babylon's policy of crushing subjects, people, in 2 Kings chapter 24 to 25 and Jeremiah chapter 39 to 5, or verse 5, verse 210, gives us a accurate photo of relentless persecution. Now, the oracle anticipates the empire's fall to the Medes in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17, and envisions global relief when the tyrant's rod is broken. And this is in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4 to 5. Now, if we go into the theological significance, number one, top of the list is divine justice. And I know a lot of God's people are going to receive their divine justice in this season. This underscores God's awareness of systemic oppression. The Lord's promise to break the staff of the wicked in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 5. This demonstrates his sovereignty over human history and his commitment to vindicate the afflicted. And we see this in Psalm 72, verse 4, and Revelation 6, verse 10. There's also another quotation that comes to mind, and I believe it's David, and it's in the Psalms, where he says, "Lord, break their teeth in their mouth," which is another intricate way of saying, "Lord, silence my enemies." So, number two, human sinfulness. Continuous persecution reveals the depth of depravity and fallen rulers who wield power without restraint, or the illusion of power. This is in Genesis chapter 6, verse 11. Number three, covenant hope. For Israel, Babylon's collapse affirms that no oppression can nullify God's redemptive purposes. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 to 2, and Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. Now, if we go into the intertextual resonance, now the book of Psalms was written by David, and many of the Psalms were written when he was on the run from Saul. And we all know that Saul was relentless in his pursuit of David. So, for example, Psalm chapter 71, And Psalm chapter 143, verse 3, shows us the experience of those under tyranny and relentless pursuits. Now, in the New Testament, believers are reassured that persecution will persist, but will be overruled by Christ's triumph. This is in John chapter 15, verse 20, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12, Revelations chapter 2, verse 10. Also in Acts chapter 9, verse 4, we see that Jesus identifies with the persecuted. And this reverses the dynamic of Mordor, persecution, by bearing the persecution himself in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 23. So ultimate deliverance was secured. Now, how can we apply this to our lives? We can provide comfort to the oppressed in Isaiah chapter 14, 6-7. It offers hope that the unrelenting harassment has an end point determined by God. And I understand a lot of people of God would say, why would God allow these things to happen? Sometimes the people of God are used to teach a lesson to those who do not believe. Just like how Pharaoh did not want to let the Israelites go, and he thought him and his gods were so powerful. And he was relentless all the way to the end, where the Israelites had to cross the Red Sea. And it was at that point God showed him that indeed he is the sovereign one. He has the power, and your petty gods have no power than the divine. And if you remember that scene where Pharaoh not only lost his